I fucking lost.
Sup.
I fucking lost.
Jade's cozy, love you all.
I love you all too. Thank you for the sub. Zamaru5 and Benny. Thank you.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, Almighty Phil. You got Osaka in there. Thank you a lot, Almighty Phil. 10 subs.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, Kumbo.
Hugging you all a little bit tighter today, Jade's love.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Almighty Phil. What else did you get? Got some good people in there. You got all the good people. Thank you, Kimbo. I love you too, Jimbo. I love you a lot, actually. Can chat sit by you. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Is that better? Here. I want you guys to be able to see the sunset. It's a pretty world. I want to get more comfortable. Give me a second. There we go. That'd be cool if it went down. That'd be so cool. The sunlight, as the time goes on, the sun goes down. That'd be cool. I think it's just gonna forever do that. Just stare at us. I'm just waiting for people to get here. I know it's morning, and I know people don't usually watch me in the morning. Unless I'm cooking. But I'm just waiting. Thank you again, Almighty Phil, for those 10 subs. Thank you. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay. I'm talking kind of quietly. If I need to turn myself up, I will. I can turn myself up. Blow my nose a little bit. Move my camera. Thank you guys for the subs. Thank you. Jades, it was fun talking to you. I voice chat the other night. I wish I had the energy and the time to dance for you. I wish I had the energy to dance all the time. Wait, are your boobs growing? I hope so. How did you go about finding and creating an avatar? I had another one for a while. It's like the third. This is like the third avatar that I've had. And I made it last year. Right around the time that I started streaming, I had like a good idea what I wanted. I think I naturally went to a darker one, and then I naturally went to this one over time. Kind of just happened, you know. kind of just happened. Like my hair. I do like my hair. My hair's cute. Got cute hair. I kind of have this hair in real life too. I have like purple hair. So I've been using this purple conditioner and I've been using purple shampoo. I have like purple hair now. I look cool. My hair looks cool. I haven't streamed in too long. You haven't missed much. Your hair looks amazing as you do. I cannot wait for IRL streams. You're beautiful. Thank you. Whew. I have the music off because I want you guys to be able to hear me. And I know it's kind of hard to watch a stream with no music. But I want to be able to, talk and not have to listen to something too loud. I don't have to talk over something right now. Am I going to GatorCon? Probably. Looks like a good anime season. See? Hi, Tamara. Jades, do you remember me the other day in the rest and sleep world? I was sleeping and you woke me up with one of your voices and no. I know that I do that. I know that I walk around and do that. I go to different worlds, pals, when I'm not streaming, and I will, like, I don't know what you would call it. It's like it's like public hop, but like with a mission, like public hop with a plan. And I hope that I can meet people in a way that's like very fun for them, like very like unique. Like, who is this person? I want to be that for people so badly. And I get that experience like consistently in public worlds where I can like go in and I can just be all crazy and stuff. It's like super fun. I wish you remember me. I probably do. It happens a lot. Your name sounds familiar. I go to the rest and sleep world all the time. I don't know what I did. What did I do? In the past, I've like gone to the rest and sleep world and I go upstairs and I don't know, I'll just be funny. I'll just be a funny person. I would like to meet me sometimes. You know what I mean? When I play vrchat, I want to meet voice actresses. And that's what I do. Hefferson. I do remember you. I do remember you. Pub stomping. You said and then nothing. What happened next? Oh, yeah. What happened? What did I do? Tell me what I did, and I'll let you know if I remember you. Hi, Bard. Hi, beautiful. Everything comfy? I'm comfy. I'm kind of comfy. I'm sitting up in my chair. Kind of comfy. Guys. I gotta say this, I guess. It's probably better to have it in a title. But I just wanted to have a title that was like what it is. I'm not okay. But I'm distracting myself right now. And I'm going to talk about it today. And it might get really, really, really heavy. And it might get really, really sad. And I don't want you guys to stick around if it's going to cause you to be sad too. Because I know that sometimes, most of the time, my energy is very positive. And I don't know if I can bring that energy today. But I'm going to bring a different kind of energy. And I want you guys to know that of all the people I want to be with right now, it's you. Today, I want to be with you guys. Because I thought about this a lot. I was like, do I go on stream? Do I not stream? I think it's better if I stream. Talk about it. Pretty important. But I want to say this honestly. Don't stick around if it's going to cause you guys to be upset too. I'll be okay. But it's going to be just a real talk about some stuff. I'm not trying to be all dramatic right now. I'm really not. I just don't know what else to do. It feels very, very good to be seeing people here. So I've had to do this alone for 4 years. I've had to do this staying alone for 4 years, and it's typically really hard. So we'll see how it goes with people here. We'll see how it goes with people in my life. Here. I wish I had like an anti-cry face gasket for Index. I might make that. Sell a bunch of them. Like a face gasket that's like for crying. It's like the saddest thing ever. Make an index tool specifically for being sad. I think sometimes you have to get down in the trenches to feel sad together. Well, yeah. Get on stream, try not to cry, sob deeply. I've cried a lot in my headset actually. My headset has shared some moments with me. I've had some very, very good moments on stream or in my headset. And I've had some very bad moments in my headset. And I've had some very beautiful moments in my headset. It's like a lot. There's a power in feeling sadness in its entirety. There's a heavy importance in acknowledging and allowing yourself to feel those negative feelings. Very true. Whatever it is, I'm happy you can trust your community to talk about with it. Yeah. Same. I am too. I'm just making sure people can see me here. I want people to be here, I guess. I've already started talking because I don't really want to do this twice. That might be a slower intro. And I apologize if it's boring. I do get it. I know that's like really out of the blue. Yeah, Jade just sat on their stream and just stared at the sunset. But that's what I want to do right now. Like you say, going through hard times and hard anniversaries alone can make it through everything powerful. God, sister time. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that song. What happened 5 years ago? Wasn't it all returning to nothing? I mean, in a lot of ways it was for an old life of mine, but it was also the beginning of a new life 5 years ago. That song is like really sad, like really intensely sad. And it has that like it all returns to nothing. It all comes tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down. What I felt was very much like castles falling. But very quickly after that, a flower sprouting in the destruction of those cities. The cities that I had built up with my mom. Like Inception. You know, that scene where they're like able to just build cities. It was like that. It was like all of them just crumbling and then just like nothing. All returned to nothing. Just like I had just wiped my hand over like a sandcastle. And then at the very end, I just like a little flower pops up. That flower, believe it or not, is us. It's like this, I would say. It took a little bit. Because I lived in the destruction for many, 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 many years, for sure. Maybe it was me coming out. Maybe it was me finding out that I could do this. But I would say us. This is the flower of the destruction of the Kamsusartan. It all returning to nothing. I would say this is it. Which is really cool. Give yourself a round of applause being a part of that. the rebirth, the regrowth, the reanimation, the rejuvenation, the revitalization, the continuation of life, because life very much goes on. That is important. Life goes on. As hard as it is, life goes on. Life goes on. No matter what happens. I might need to get a tape paper towel or something so I can not have to use my fucking shirt the whole day. I don't want to have to use my shirt. This is a Twitch shirt. I gotta worship the religion of Twitch. I gotta have my shirt looking good. I want to look good for you guys. Oh. Okay, I will say it because I think a lot of people have asked this point. It's probably a good time to tell you guys what's going on. 5 years ago, I was 23. About, I would say, 10 minutes from now. 5 years ago, 10 minutes from now. My mom killed herself. And I want to go back. I'm going to go backwards from that moment for a little bit and talk about her for a little bit, because that was like a culmination of like so much stuff. It didn't just like, it happened out of the blue, but there was also a lot that preceded it, and I think that's really important to talk about. My life. So, when I was born, I had a very loving mother and a very loving father. And my mom had recently, when I was a kid, recently developed some like medication addiction. When I was like a little baby, I didn't realize this until I was much older. When I was a little kid, she was battling with something. But that's not what I want her to be known for. Like, even if I'm talking about her right now, if she's hearing me say this stuff, I wouldn't want her to hear that. I wouldn't want her to be like, of all the things for you to like talk about, it'd be my addiction. It is really important. and that will be like a really important thing I'll talk about, but her addiction to whatever wasn't her. It wasn't my mom. It was something else. And you could always tell. I don't know if you guys have been around people who've done drugs or been, when I say drugs, I mean like prescription drugs. Done downers, been different. There's like a really different, there's a difference about them. Like there's like a version where you're like, oh my god, this person's so fucking cool. You can see it in their eyes. That's like the easiest thing to say. It's like you can like look at somebody and you can just tell that they're okay. You can like look in their eyes. That's like the most important part of a person's body is their eyes, in my opinion. Some people are ass people, some people are leg people, some people are boob people. I'm an eye person. I want my future partner to have good eyes. Because I want to be looking in your face a lot. I want to be looking in the face of somebody who I love. And eyes are a really good way to tell if you love them. And my mom's eyes, one of the first things I ever saw, I guess. I don't remember it. I don't remember being a baby. But I was born, and immediately I had a sickness in the hospital. I was gonna die. I was a C-section baby. My mom had 4 miscarriages before she had me in 1993. I was born in 93. She had 3 miscarriages, 2 girls and 1 boy. I was the 4th attempt. The doctors told my mom she would have never had kids. My dad was like, putting out. He wasn't sterile, but they weren't capable of having children. The doctors had told him that. They were like, you're not going to have kids. And I came out. I popped out in 93 after 3 miscarriages. I am not able to get pregnant being trans. I'm not able to experience the beauty of childbirth. And I'm not gonna lie to you, nor would I want to. I'm okay not experiencing the childbirth. But if I had been to the hospital 3 times over the years, and I had thought that I was gonna have a kid 3 different times, and each time the baby died, or like the fetus wasn't able to be born, I don't know. That is an eternal discouragement that I will never be able to conceptualize. I don't know what that's like. I have no clue what that's like. So yeah, I was born. It was a miracle. And immediately after being born, I got really sick. I don't know what the exact sickness was, but I was like, I was dying. Like my heart rate was like going, like my blood pressure was going down at one point. Like, I don't know. I'll have to ask my dad specifically for what happened was, but it happened like a day after I was born. And so my mom had to go on something. Let me move so I can actually see the chat. My mom had to go on something called she had to be on a blood. We both had to be put on an IV. My mom and I. I was put on a sugar drip, a sugar IV. My mom was put on a sugar IV. We We were both put on a sugar IV. Like I don't know, like replenish our blood sugar or something. And in the night, my IV came out of my arm. I'm gonna wait for this. Okay, the cop's gone. My IV came out of my arm. And it spread a bunch of sugar water in the bed. And my mom and I had woken up the next day. This is 2 days now after I was born. My mom woke up and there was sugar ants all over me, all over her. We were both covered in sugar ants. And so the doctors came in. We're like, what the fuck? I recovered. As you can see, I didn't die. I recovered. I survived. And my mom and I trauma bonded. Very first thing. The first thing we had to go through was survival. It kind of set the precedent of our relationship going forward. Was the fact that we kind of like did that. We like survived, me and my mom. Kind of set the precedent of how we would be for the rest of my life with her. Anyways. I grew up in a small town in Texas. Right outside of San Antonio.
I fucking lost.
Thank you for the sub.
Jade's all Jade's loving.
Fat cat in the hat. Love your name. I grew up in a small town outside of San Antonio. And right away, girl, get low, let go of the past, move on already. Trying to sushi vibes, trying to. I'm talking about those sushi, so if you don't want to be here, go ahead and dip. It is going to be a bit of a reminiscence stream, and that's why I'm doing it today, so I can get it over with. Thank you for saying that. I don't usually live in the past. I don't really think I do. So, my mom, I'm sorry, I'm gonna like hide chat for a second. It's a lot easier to talk whenever I can't see you guys. No offense to you guys, I just can't really do it right now. I'm gonna get distracted. Oh. I'm cleaning my glasses off. They're soaked in tears. 1 second. I think I already need my other face gasket. I'm already at that point. Oh.
I fucking lost.
Sophia. Thank you for what you said today. It made me cry. My mom was always this like really powerful woman. My dad married like a bit of an actress, if you know what I mean. She was really, really charismatic. Very emotional. Good and bad thing. Very good thing, very bad thing. I get a lot of that from her. A very emotional person. I'm also very empathetic. She was very empathetic. We had that in common. But just describing her, she was awesome. Awesome lady. And I miss her a lot. Miss her every day. She's funny. My mom was like the funniest person ever. You know how most people are like there's funny moms or whatever. My mom was like a comedian mom. She was just like physically funny. She could like do all kinds of stuff. I think most of where I got like my reactionary humor and like just anything that I could imitate. Like growing up, I was a very cynical kind of person with comedy. I always considered my sense of humor to be a little bit more intelligent, I guess, than most. I was one of those kids. I was like, that's not very funny. It was hard to get me to laugh that easily. My mom made me laugh on so many occasions, and it was like, I remember thinking, I was like, how does it's your mom. You don't want to laugh at something your mom really does and says, but I just couldn't help it. She was that funny. She was fucking hilarious. There was some funny shit she did. I grew up with a pool and a dog. My mom was a big dog lover. She fucking adored animals. We had a puppy named Winston growing up. Before I was born, Winston was my parents' child. Winston was a mini schnauzer. And Winston, my dad was a pilot, so Winston got to go up in the airplane with my mom and my dad on their honeymoon flights and whatever the fuck they did. And they would my dad would do something called zero gravity, which was like he would take the airplane up and then let it fall after stalling the aircraft. And whenever you let an aircraft stall and fall, inside the cabin, everything is weightless for 20 seconds or so. Maybe less than that, maybe 15 seconds, 10 seconds. So they would have my dog, Winston, in the cabin, and they would let Winston zero gravity dog paddle over to my dad. And I had that picture in my mind, and it's magical thought. See a little puppy swimming in the air like an astronaut. It's so funny to me. I envy the fact that my dad got to spend 10, 15 years with my mom before I was ever born. I envy him a lot. He got to have a lifetime with her before I got to have a lifetime with her. They spent their years above the clouds. Should be really cool. I know why she married him. And growing up, my mom was... I didn't know this. My mom was battling a very dark childhood that she had. She had a super bad childhood. Her mom was her family wasn't good. Her dad was. Her dad was angry sometimes. But her mom throughout the years, throughout like her later years, her mom became really incredibly distant and incredibly toxic towards her. And I didn't grow up knowing her side of the family. I didn't grow up knowing my mom's side of the family. So I had like an entire like section of my family that I didn't have any clue about because it was like off limits. My dad and my mom kept them from me. It was like we don't talk about that side of the family. We don't talk about them. So my dad's family became kind of like my family, the cousins and uncles and stuff. But she had a really rough time growing up. And she developed later in life substance abuse problems because of it. To cope, to like push down her trauma, I guess. Which I guess is what happens. Generational trauma, as it's called. It's literally passed down. Like, I'm sorry, my chair is so squeaky. I need to buy a new chair. I need to start streaming more, get more subs, and buy a fucking new chair because I am so tired of having this squeaky ass old shithead chair. I don't need this chair. I'm gonna sit in a fucking comfortable beanbag. Fuck you, chair. God, I'm so tired of it squeaking. Get into a comfortable position. Hold on. Sorry to get so pissed off at an inanimate object. Real mature. I just am tired of it squeaking like that. Super dumb. Shut the fuck up, chair. Anyways. Oh god, it's so much more comfortable. Oh, it's so much more comfortable. Anyways. My mom, yeah, she developed a really bad substance problem, I guess, growing up. I didn't know this. I was too young to know this. And throughout my life, I started to see glimpses of it. Like I started like making sense. What was going on? There was like two moms. I had like two moms. I had like the one that was like here, you know? You know when you look in someone's eyes who was like on something and they're like 1,000 miles away? There was those for parts. I mean, there was the parts where she was like an angel. She was like 1,000% better. Like, so cool. I can't even describe it. That's what you saw in my mom's eyes, typically, was this like gorgeous person. And every now and then, the sun would just set. I never really figured out why. But as I grew older, I started figuring it out. My mom is on something. Something's going on. When you're a little kid, and the person who you look up to the most chooses to be mentally absent, if just for a brief period of time, it makes you question why. And it makes you go like, why do they want to be with me right now? Where are they going? Why are they going? They're so cool. At a very young age, I developed a hatred for medication, prescription medication. I developed a hatred of it. It became like this invisible evil that I just couldn't really fight. I wasn't my mom's therapist. I was a kid. And I just wanted my mom. And so there was times when, most of the time, I got her. And there was times, like I said, that she would go. And through the years, I had a lot of issues with her and this whole thing. It wasn't that we got in fights or anything. It was just, well, yeah, that happened, but my mom had a lot of issues throughout the years because of pills and stuff. She wrecked her car 8 times. She was in 8 car wrecks. She almost died. I can't even tell you how many times. I want to say like over 50. Like, she's gonna die. Close calls. Like, I had, when I was like 15, I think by that time she'd already probably almost died like 20, 30 times. And I was like sure she was gonna die. She was just a very troubled lady with a lot of those prescription medication pills. But then she would bounce back. And it would be like nothing ever happened, because you would forget what happened. You'd be like, wow, like, I hope we'll never go back to that hell, because you're so cool. You're so much better now. It was like this wild, wild swings. The roller coaster of my childhood. I longed for the days that I could just coast and just know that she was okay. But it was never like that. In the back of my mind, there was always that fear. Like, when is it going to be the next crazy mom event? When's that going to happen next? My sister and I grew up in that kind of situation. We realized very early on that when my dad was away for business, which he was most of the time, he's earning a living for our family. He was a traveling salesman. Most of the time, it was my sister and I, my mom. And when you're a kid and your parent is mentally gone, physically there, mentally gone, you have to take care of yourself. Doesn't matter how otherwise privileged or blessed that you are as a person. You could be in a castle. You still have to take care of yourself and like nurture yourself and like do the things a parent would do, or at least try to. Very early on, I grew up like hardcore. I didn't have that great of a childhood because a lot of it was spent being my own parent, being my adult parent. Like, literally, I had to grow up. And that was hard. I don't think I've ever gotten over that. I don't think I've ever gotten over that. I don't think I've ever like fully felt like I've moved on from that. I've always been kind of stuck in that. But as a kid, I was very conversational with adults. I was like the old soul. I remember people in my life who were much older than me would look in my eyes and they would go like, how are you so young yet so experienced? And then it would hit them as an adult. They would figure out why. And it freaked them out. They were like, oh dear God, Christ Almighty. The things you have had to deal with have grown you up this much, this early on. When I see a kid like that, it doesn't make me happy. It makes me super sad because I know what they're dealing with. Being a adult-minded child bucking is terrifying because you just know that they've been through God knows what to get to this point. Experience grows you up better than anything else. It gives your brain wrinkles. It is an intense feeling to grow up early and fast, like forcibly. Like you gotta grow up. This is important. Is this real, like an expression? I'm looking at chat. Yeah, it's real. It's like an art. It's like an art thing. Oh, Jade is lying. Jade is acting sad. No, this is real. Every kid that has trauma tends to be that old soul. Yeah, it makes you exhausted. Tires you out. It makes you really exhausted. And I wanted to do the same that she was doing. My sister and I, we started escaping. I would escape any way that I could. I escaped into my computer. The internet. The computer. What a wonderfully terrifying place. Full of magic and mayhem. That was my parent for most of my life. The grand old internet. Video games and whatnot. I mean, we all escape into video games. Who the fuck am I kidding? It became my parent. It became my safe space. And I learned a lot from the internet. Most of what I know. I just started to become my own parent. I even learned about childhood trauma while I was a child. Like I learned about it. Like I went to, I just would read about it and stuff. I had terrible grades growing up. In school, I suffered a lot. While my peers were like always really confused about me. I wasn't a dumb kid. Listen to me. I don't come off that way. I feel like my vocabulary, the way I carry myself, it doesn't seem stupid. Because it's not. But I hated school. And I hated going to school, and I hated learning.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, Almighty Phil. Thank you. I hated fucking I hated the fact that I never really got to go anywhere where I could be calm. Home sucked for most of my life. School sucked. Where does a kid go to like relax? I don't know. Anywhere they can. So when my peers were doing really well and stuff, I was kind of looked at as like a confusing, very confusing thing. I was always a lot behind, for sure. Developmentally behind, not intellectually behind, but arithmetic behind. I guess developmentally is the wrong word. I can speak and write and do all the cool stuff very early. It was more applicationally behind. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't want to. I was just like, whoa. None of you kids have any clue what's going on in my life. And I don't know. It was like a good thing and a bad thing. I could look into the eyes of my classmates throughout all of school until I left high school. All of school. And I could just see this lack in about 99% of them. This lack of like experience, life experience. So while they got to do the whole childhood thing and like, be kids and whatever the fuck, and had very strict, like, capable parents who were home and stuff and were parents, I had a bit of a free-for-all. And I felt very isolated in that, you know what I mean? My whole every single year, I just felt like I was like, man, I want to meet somebody who deals with this shit. I didn't. But it really frustrated me. I was always like wanting to befriend people older than me, always, throughout my entire, and I never knew why. I was always like, dude, everybody in the next 3 grades sucks. But then the 6th grade, I was in like 2nd grade, wanting to be friends with 5th and 6th graders. I was like, everybody sucks. Then I was in like 6th grade, wanting to be friends with like 18-year-olds. I was like, dude, nobody knows the troubles I've seen. It sounds silly, but it's true. I hated my peers because I was just like, you guys don't have fucking any clue, dude. You don't have any clue. And I that sounds like bad. You know, you're like, oh, like, well, that's because they had like, you know, stable environments. And as a kid, I remember being like, well, actually, that's kind of sucks for them. As horrible and as crazy as my home life can get with my mom's drug abuse, I wouldn't trade it for anything because it's made me super strong. Like, I can do anything kind of strong. And that's powerful. That's something you can't just ask for. It just either happens or it doesn't. So in a lot of ways, it was a good thing. As fucked up as that sounds. I wouldn't be the person I am today without my childhood. Kind of crazy. So growing up, my mom had a lot of accidents. There was one year where she was cut into by a doctor who was doing this checkup on her ankle. They cut into her ankle, and on the scalpel contained Staphylococcus aureus, otherwise known as MRSA. MRSA is staph infection. It's a very, very resilient, antibiotic-resistant type of staph infection. It goes after. It's an intense thing. MRSA is life-threatening. You do not want staph infection. Don't want that. Especially not antibiotic-resistant MRSA. It's the worst kind. She got it on her Achilles tendon, actually. It seeped into her Achilles tendon. And the way it worked was it ate her Achilles tendon away. It, like, completely ate her Achilles tendon. Your Achilles tendon, for those you don't know, is a tendon that goes right here, and it goes all the way up down your leg, up to your spine. It's very important. It's like the most incredibly important thing ever. It ate away at her Achilles tendon, so she was bedridden for 3 years. In those 3 years, while the doctors tried to... Oh, by the way, I think a lot of families, obviously, would have sued that doctor for everything. For millions. Sued the hospital. Sued the medical industry of St. Louis. But... because he was the one who did it. It was in medical practice. They malpracticed my mom. They gave her staph infection. The reason we didn't sue, or they didn't sue, was because the doctor who gave her the problem campaigned to keep her leg because he knew that she was a mom of 2 kids and a loving wife. And that if they amputated, because it was spreading into her blood, if they amputated, our lives would be so much different dealing with a fucking amputee mother, which would have been a different lifestyle for sure. So he fought for her leg. They managed to localize the MRSA, and for 3 years she was bedridden. She couldn't get up for 3 years. In those 3 years, my mom took, as you would, lots and lots and lots of drugs, prescription drugs. Like tons of them. I don't even want to think about it. How many chemicals were going into my mom's body. Her liver and her kidneys, by the end of her life, they're probably about to fail based on how many chemicals she did in her body and stuff. So she had a lot of drugs. Because of that, because of having all those drugs and stuff, when you finally get the ability to stand and you're finally like, hi, I'm a mom again, those addictions don't just poof. They don't go away. My mom then had addictions. Really, really strong ones, guys. Like really powerful addictions. Rooted into her. Like tendrils. Like the roots of a tree wrapped around her neck. She was a drug addict at that point. And then it got really bad. Then my childhood went from like bad to worse. And it was chaos. For like 8 years of my life, it was actual fucking chaos. Actual chaos, like literal chaos. Every year seemed to have some major event that dealt with my mom, dealt with her almost dying, and dealt with my dad probably like 50 times a year contemplating divorce because of just how intense the chaos was. Having to leave us kids alone with a parent who is dealing with so much addiction. I begged my dad to divorce my mom at one point. Begged him. I was like, you go off and you don't know what goes on. We cannot take care of her. And his words were always the same. In sickness and through health, I stand by her. In sickness and through health. Those wedding vows. So he did. He wanted to fight it too. There's something called HIPAA. For those of you who don't know what HIPAA means, HIPAA is a protection act that keeps doctors from talking about patient history and patient prescription history with other doctors and other people, patients and family members. If I have HIPAA, that means that my dad can't go to a doctor that I have and ask the doctor for medical history. That's my privacy. That's what HIPAA is. My mom in St. Louis had HIPAA. And so when you're the husband of a woman who is hurting herself by taking all kinds of pain medication and then doing something called doctor shopping. In St. Louis, you can do something called doctor shopping, which is, or at least back then you could, which is essentially, you can go to a pain clinic or any doctor. You can basically just say, hey, I've had MRSA. And they're like, oh my God, here's a prescription of whatever you want. Valium, benzodiazepam, fucking anything. Fucking anything. Any downer you want. Here you go. Just pay us. Okay, so you go to one place and do that. Then you drive across town to another place and do the same fucking thing over and over and over until you amass a mountainous pile of drugs. Any drug you want. Any drug. And no doctor can talk about it too because of HIPAA. How does that make any fucking sense? So throughout his life, he would fight. He would go to the doctors and be like, He almost got thrown in jail one time because he pushed past the security of a doctor one time. They were like, "Sorry, sir, that the doctor cannot see you," and he's like, "That's bullshit. My wife is killing herself because you guys don't talk about this stuff." He ran into the office, slammed some pills on the guy's desk, and said, "Fucking look, this is what she's taking. This is what you're giving her, and this is what the doctor across the street's giving her. She's got 2 the same thing, and she can just go crazy. She can take more than is necessary and literally go crazy." There was one night where my mom overtook a bunch of medication. My dad was out of town. My sister was out of town. They were in Texas. There was one night where my mom loses her mind. It was just me and her. When my dad and my sister told me that they were leaving on a trip together, it was like being locked in prison with Rorschach. I wasn't stuck there with her. Or sorry, she wasn't stuck there with me. I was stuck there with her. I was like, oh God, what's gonna happen? They leave, and all hell comes to earth that night. I had a sword in my room. I had a sword from Lord of the Rings. It was a Frodo sword. Okay? And this sword hung on my wall throughout my childhood. It was like one of my favorite things ever. I was on my computer, and my mom runs into my room, screaming at me, pushes me to the side, and grabs my sword. And I'm freaking out because there's a woman with a sword in her hand. She's screaming at me. "You're gonna kill me," she says. She got the fucking sword in her hand. She says, "You're gonna kill me with this sword, aren't you?" "No. You are, aren't you? You're gonna kill me with this sword, aren't you? You've been thinking about it all night." "No, I haven't." "You're lying to me. I know you're lying." She goes outside. We live in a property that had like a creek in the back, like a river. She tosses my fucking sword into the creek. I don't know how I found it the next week. I don't, but I did eventually. Throws it in the creek. In that time, I lock all the doors to the house, and I call my dad. I lock every single door. And I said, "Dad, I have just locked Mom out of the house." And he's like, "Why did you do that? What's going on?" And I explained to him the situation. And I said, "Mom thinks I'm trying to kill her with a sword." He's like, "Okay. Oh no. What I want you to do is let her back in the house." And I said, "No." I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And he says, "Yes. This will get worse if you don't let her back in the house." And I said, "Nope. You don't know how dangerous this person is. I'm not letting her back in the house." I hung up the phone. 30 minutes go by, and I hear a loud glass crash in the living room. She had thrown a fucking rock through the window of our living room and punched out the glass enough to be able to crawl through our front door window, or our window, I guess. I was in my room trying to sleep, and I had like
I fucking lost.
thank you.
Hope you're well.
I had like my door was closed. My mom was a lot bigger than me. She wasn't like super, she wasn't overweight, but she was big. She was like heavier set at the time because she ate a lot in the bedriddenness had caused her to gain a lot of weight. So she was much bigger than me. I must have weighed 110 pounds. She must have weighed 3 or 4 times my size. So she wasn't somebody like I could ever like. I'm not gonna fight my mom. She comes into the house, and at this point I'm like trying to sleep. I was in my bed, covers pulled up to my eyes, in my bed, staring at my door. And like this scene from Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, my door fucking like I'm not exaggerating. My door went like this. It like flew off the hinges. I'm not joking. It flew off the hinges, both hinges, and it flew into my front of my room. And I was watching this from my bedroom with my covers on. She takes the covers, tears them off like a fucking tablecloth, grabs me by the legs, pulls me out of my bed, and I run downstairs, and she's chasing me, and I realize that she is out of her mind. She had taken Ambien, and she'd also taken like a stimulant to keep her awake. And the way Ambien works is you're dreaming, right? But you're awake if you don't go to sleep. And in the twilight of Ambien, and being asleep and being awake, you don't remember anything that you do, and you act insane. You act utterly insane, like you're dreaming. She thought I was like a demon or something. I don't know what the deal was, but she thought I was a demon. So I run downstairs. We had a pool table. Like a cartoon, she was chasing me around the pool table. And eventually she gets on top of me. She uses her weight to pin me down. I'm like 15, maybe 14, 15. I'm younger. She pins me down and puts her hand around my mouth. She tries to choke me. And she's out of her mind. This is not my mom, by the way. This is some other lady. This is demon mom. Puts her hands around my mouth, tries to choke me, suffocate me. And her finger gets in between my mouth, and I bite down as hard as I can. I like full chomp. I break her finger. Takes her hand off of me. I run screaming bloody murder up the street at 2 a.m. to my friend's house up the street, who seemingly isn't answering their door. They're out of town too. So I'm on their porch, looking down the street at my house, and I'm just like, heavy pants. Like, did that just happen? My dad had been calling me throughout the night, and he had been saying the following. He was like, if I don't get a call back from you in an hour, I'm going to call the police, and they're going to come to the house, and they're going to check on you. And I said, okay, I'll call you back. I don't want the police to come. I'll call you back. Well, I missed the call. And at 3 a.m., a patrol car shows up to the house, gets her story. I guess she had sobered up by then because it had been like an hour and a half. They get her story. They drive up to me. And they're like mad at me. They're like pissed off at me. They're like, what is going on? Your mother tells us that you had a sword and you were trying to hurt her. But like, bro. So that happened. Oh, by the way, this was like one event of like 300 events. I'm just mentioning one of the worst ones. And the best part about this whole night, guys, The best, like the kicker, the actual kicker of this night. Guys, this was my birthday. This was my birthday, May 18th. This was my birthday. So, she had those moments, which were really bad. And I'm not really sure she would like it that I talked about this. But she's not here right now. So I'm going to talk about it. That happened. That happened, man. And then she got better. Like I said, like there was these moments where she would just be insane. And there was moments where she would not be insane. And I had both experiences. And it was like talking to two different people. And one of the most frustrating things I think about growing up in my house with my mom, when there was no one else there, was the fact that you could never tell the truth to her. Because it was never the truth. Even if it was. I got so good at dealing with somebody who told me that I was a liar. Talk about gaslighting. It was mental gaslighting. It was like drug-inflicted gaslighting. I had to get used to being the loser. Or, I should say, the bigger person in every argument. Because she would literally forget things and blame me for them. And that's the most difficult mental torture to be in. When you know you're right, but the person in authority tells you that you're wrong. Oh my god. That was hell, dude. That was hell. I hated that. I hated that part of my life. It was so bad. There was so many times when I knew that what I was saying was right, but I had to just be like, you know what, Mom? You're right. You're right. I'm wrong and you're right. I had to learn how to do that so early. That was tough. That was rough. How are you guys doing? I was married for 10 years. Someone with hyper-aggressive bipolar disorder. Sounds familiar. Your mother has lost her respect. You do not talk about it when she does shit. You got the right to talk about it if you want to. Happy birthday. Y'all, they only had half the story. Can't believe you had to go through that. Hi, Flexa. Nothing scared the shit out of you. Very diehard. Patient has a sign of thing to get the doctor to share information with your family. Don't know the Missouri state laws. Federal regs totally would have allowed the doctor to do that if they wanted to. Hippocratic oath. Yeah. Narcotics are no joke. No place should be that easy to get them. Sort of okay. I'm just really sorry I had to go through all that. Wait, did they ever realize your mom would chase you into craze? No. My dad's friend came and picked me up that night, and I had to go to his house. Again, that was one night. I am not exaggerating when I say that was like one of the lower like crazy nights. There was a night that I walked to my mom. My sister and I developed this thing that it's gonna sound really fucked up. I'm about to talk about it. My sister and I developed something that we did with my mom. Because guys, we got so used to it, you know? You can't blame us for this, but I'm gonna talk about it. Guys, it almost became funny to us how fucked up she would get sometimes. It was our way of like dealing with it. It almost became humorous. We were just in shock. We couldn't believe that somebody could be this fucked up. When I say fucked up, I mean like nodding off and stuff. Throughout my life, my mom would nod off all the time. All the time. And I don't know if you guys know what nodding off means, but I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So nodding off is whenever you're looking at somebody and they just do this. They're going. That's what nodding off is. Okay? So we got to the point where we would wake my mom up on purpose. We would look at her and she'd be nodding off at the kitchen. She'd be nodding off at the couch. She'd be nodding off when we were going to school driving us. There was one day that I'll never forget, guys. My mom was driving us to school one morning, right? High. And she... I can't believe we didn't get pulled over for this. The way I drove with my mom was the following. I would sit in the front seat and I wouldn't look straight ahead at the road. I had positioned myself to look at her. I wasn't looking at the road. I was looking at my mom because I knew that if I didn't, she could go to sleep. And I would literally have to wake her up. Guys, I am not exaggerating when I say I had to literally wake my mom up when she was driving us. We were like too young to drive. We were too young to do anything. We had to literally wake her up on the way to school one morning. She was driving, and I'll never forget this. Throughout the drive, we had been saying, Mom, wake up. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Mom, wake up. Oh, sorry. Guys, a police officer was coming in the opposite lane, going about 45 miles an hour. We're going to school. We're like a minute away. My mom, oh my God, my mom she falls asleep completely and fully goes into the right lane, oncoming towards a police officer. Like directly head on with the police officer. Oncoming police officer, head on. Mom, wake up! Oh! Swerves back in the right lane. Police didn't pull us over. Police kept going. We had to develop a way of dealing with her drug use so we could survive. It became our lives in trouble because her life was in trouble. That was rough. That was the weirdest thing ever. Was like knowing that you could die any day because your mom falls asleep at the wheel. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that was so bad. So yeah, me and my sister kind of developed this like almost like satisfaction, like a very almost like a sick satisfaction for forcibly waking her up because we knew we were so mad at her. We were so pissed at the drugs. We were so pissed at the drugs. We would just be like, Mom, wake up. Mom, wake up. We'd laugh about it. Mom, wake up. Mom, wake up. Oh my God. I must have said that 1 trillion times growing up. I must have said, Mom, wake up 1 trillion times. So many times. Mom, wake up. Why are you asleep? Mom, it's literally 12 p.m. Why are you asleep? Mom. There was one day where my mom was on the floor of her bedroom and she was loudly snoring, right? She was on the floor, sitting up against her back against her bed, loudly snoring. And I'm not talking like, I'm talking like this. It was like no breathing, silence, and then that's exactly how it sounded. So when we saw this, me and my sister, we started laughing. We were like, look at her. Look at that dumb idiot. Like, our respect for my mom had gone down very hard over the years because of just how many times that she would embarrass herself and fall asleep and do stupid shit. So we saw this and we were laughing, actively laughing. I even filmed it. I got my phone out and I started taking a video of it because I wanted to show her the next day. I did this a lot, by the way. When she was doing something stupid, I would film her, and the next day I would walk up to her and be like, this is what you did yesterday. And she would be like, that's so fucked up. Why would you film me? And I'm like, because you'll never believe me. That's why. Because you'll never fucking believe me. And if I were to just sit here and not let you see it, you'll never fucking change. That's why, Mom. And my sister and I did this a lot. We would just film her. We'd be like, oh, dude, check you out. Here's you sleeping under the pool table last night with butter in your mouth. Here's you doing whatever. Like, here's you being an idiot, Mom. Guys, I didn't want to be that with my mom. I didn't like doing that. I don't like talking about this to an audience as if it's something I'm proud of. I don't. I feel like a fucking cunt. But I did that because it was the only thing I knew how to do to wake her up and be like, yo, this is exactly what you do. You were passed out yesterday. And like, what are you doing, Mom? So we were filming her. And we go downstairs to show our dad. We go downstairs, and my dad's like in the garage, and he's working in the garage. And I walk up to him, and I'm like, Dad, check this out. Look how stupid Mom is. Look how stupid our mom is being right now. And he watches the video, and he says, is this right now? And we're like, yeah. And he sprints upstairs, and we're like, whoa, what's got him in such a hurry? It's not like this is a brand new thing. He sprints up the stairs, and he starts screaming, call an ambulance, like right away. He's like, call an ambulance. So we go upstairs, and our smiles turn directly into like horror when we realize my mom had like peed on the floor. She was asleep and she had already peed, and she was dying. She was like a minute away from dying. He said, call an ambulance. So we call an ambulance. They show up. They resuscitate her and bring her to the hospital. Apparently that day that she had taken the same cocktail of medication that Heath Ledger died on. The same exact cocktail. Heath Ledger died on a respiratory suppressant cocktail. She took a respiratory suppressant cocktail and came very close to dying. Within moments. So we were laughing at somebody dying. We didn't know it. Again, one of many occurrences of this happening where I would film her and it would be a lot bigger of a deal than I thought. A couple years later, my dad gets a promotion and we're going to relocate to Texas. Kids, I got a new job. It's in Texas. And I was 19 years old. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to lose all my friends here in St. Louis. Great. But hopefully, this move will change Mom. Because I'm going to let you guys in a little secret here. In Texas, prescription drug laws are drastically different than in St. Louis, Missouri. Drastically different. You cannot doctor shop. in Texas. They don't let you here. They don't let you. They know what you're doing. Texas is a lot different with drugs. And so for all the people that like get pissed off about weed and like that not being legal here, what's good about that is that it's a lot harder to get prescription medication. And that plague, that overprescription plague on the rest of society in Kentucky and Arkansas, in the middle of America, the flyover states, that fucking medicine plague isn't here. Sure, you can get pills and stuff, but it's a lot harder. And so we move, and we were all really excited to like see how this would affect Mom. We wanted the move to be kind of like an exodus from all the hell that took place in St. Louis. Literally, we were leaving hell. That's what it felt like for me. That house had become a sanctuary of a very demonic kind of presence. It was like bad. It was just bad. It was pharmaceutical demon. The pharmaceutical demon lived in that house. And so we moved out, and I immediately felt this like presence like lift off of my soul. I was just like, oh my God, I'm free. I'm free of that house. I'm free of that place and that laws. I'm free of it. Hopefully my mom is too. So we move. And we move and we go to Texas. It takes us a bit to find a house. We don't find a house immediately, but eventually we do. And I'll never forget the day we did. It's gonna live on my memory. It'll live in my memory until the day I die. I'll never forget it. We had been looking for a house for weeks and weeks and weeks in San Antonio. And there it was. There was this house. Had a pool. Had a hot tub. It was a single-story house on a big lot in a gated community with a hot tub and a pool. That was affordable. A miracle. We could afford a pool. I thought, holy shit. I am going to live in a house with a pool. We were not rich at all. But the fact of the matter was, guys, me and my sister ran to the house. I'll never forget that day. It was beautiful. I went to my dad. Me and my sister did. We go. He was like, how do you like the house? And me and my sister said, Dad, this is it. We have to live here. Like, I don't look at anything else. This is the house. And he's like, it's a little bit out of our price range, guys. I don't know if I can do it. It's a little bit too expensive. And I was like, please, Dad. I prayed in that house that we would get that house that day. I prayed. I was like, God, please, if it's at all in your will for us to have a good life right now, please let us have this house. Please, God. Please. A week later, my dad announced that he bought the house. We were overjoyed. It was one of the happiest moments of my life. I was just like, oh my God. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Moved in. Got settled in. It was wonderful. My mom was able to immediately start doing something that she hadn't done for years. And that was gardening. My dad, over the next year, built her an outdoor garden right by the pool. And I'm talking tilled the ground deeply, built a giant fucking trough, made a fucking humidity net over the garden, like an outdoor greenhouse, then installed hoses in arches that had holes, very small holes, poked through all the hoses so that it could mist on the garden. It was beautiful. She got to make her own tomatoes. She got to grow cilantro. We grew so many vegetables in that garden. It was a way for my mom and my dad to really mend a lot of what happened in St. Louis. It was wonderful. We lived on a property that had deer. So where we lived in San Antonio, on the north side, outside of town, there was a lot of deer. And they were all tagged, but they were deer. And deer roamed the property of this gated community. It's a beautiful place. She got to develop a power, a superpower, guys. My mom had a superpower. I'm about to tell you about it, okay? Pull up a chair. My mom was like Pocahontas, okay? I'm not exaggerating when I say this. My mom was Native American roots, okay? She was German Native American. You could see it in her face and her skin. And
I fucking lost.
holy fuck. That's so many. Oh my god. 25? Ragdoll. Thank you for the 25 subs. Genuinely. Thank you, sweet baby. That's a lot. That's a lot of subs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. I know today's talk has been really intense, and it will only get a little bit more intense. But thank you guys for being here. Like I said earlier, I've done this alone for 4 years, and this year is the first year that I don't have to be alone on this day. And that's really important to me. You don't know how important that is to me. You don't know how important that is to me. You don't have a fucking clue. Feels like a dream, dude. It really does. Oh, thank you. My mom was Pocahontas. She, we live in a place that deer moved and roamed through. And, she had this power, okay? And I'm not lying when I say that she had a power. I know that she had a power, okay? And her power was this. My mom could whistle very loudly, okay? She could whistle very, very loudly. Very loudly. She could put her fingers on her tongue. I can't do it. And she would go like, it was like a rape whistle. It was this loud, booming fucking whistle that was like, it would echo and echo and echo and echo. It was the loudest fucking whistle ever. Throughout my youth, when I was a soccer player and stuff, she would whistle. Everybody heard her whistle. It was so fucking loud. She would like pinch the undertongue and be like, I can't even do it, but it was so loud. My mom would whistle, right, in our backyard every day. And I will never forget this. A minute would go by. 2 minutes would go by. And then you'd start hearing something. It's like rumbling from different directions. There'd be a rumble in the east and a rumble from the west. There'd be a rumble from the south or a rumble from the north. And they were coming at both times. What would show up was two giant tribes of deer, the axis and the whitetails. The axis would show up. Axis are the dotted deers, like Bambi. Whitetails have white on their tails. They're all brown. And they were two different types of breed of deer. And there was always a pack leader of both tribes. There was the axis pack leader, male and female. And there was the whitetail pack leader, male and female. My mom would buy hunting deer corn that you do when you're hunting deer. She'd go buy hunting deer corn. And she would walk around my backyard after whistling. And she would be surrounded by hundreds of deer. Not 10, not 15. Guys, I have a video that I'll post on my Discord later. Maybe. It's actually, I don't know if I can post it because it's my backyard, but hundreds of deer. Hundreds. Surrounding her. Like a fucking Disney princess, okay? She'd place the corn in like a circle, a giant deer circle, and she would control them. She would like wave her arm to cause them to go in like a different motion. She'd like walk through them as if she was their messiah. They parted the sea of the two tribes. The warring deer ate next to each other because of my mom. These two types of deer did not like each other, and they would fight. But my mom, somehow, God bless her soul, fed them. And was like that for them. And it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. She was a crazy cool lady. And this house seemed to be an escape from her troubles in St. Louis. For a while. It was. She had the garden. She became a jar, she would make jams and do jars and stuff. She started jarring, canning. That's what it's called, canning. She made her own jams, jellies. She did like chutneys and like chopped fruit salads. She became very good at it. She'd boil the mason jar. She'd put the stuff in, put some pectin in there, seal it up, boil the sealed ones, and then put those in the fridge. She was so proud of that. She was so proud of her creation that she could cook with things that she had created. She could grow our food. Oh my God. It was going to be a place that she could live her later years and really grow as a person. It was that place. She was a very outdoor mom, so having a pool was huge. Every day, my mom was outside with some with herself, just sunbathing, tanning, chilling by the pool, gardening and sunbathing, taking care of the pool, doing the maintenance, the chlorine, all that stuff, cooking. She lived a great couple years there, really did. Beautiful years of her life. Back in St. Louis, towards the end of our time there, something happened. I got so fed up with her drug usage that before we moved, she asked me something one day, out of the blue. She goes, "Do you have any access to marijuana?" This is my mom asked me this. And I was like, yeah, I think I do. I did. Okay. And I was like a kid. I was like, oh, maybe I do. She goes, good. I want to give you some money to go buy me some. She gave me $400. I roll up to my dealer's house with $400. I said, I'm gonna buy. I want your dankest weed for $400. He was like, okay, okay, that's a lot. What the fuck? You want to get high, don't you? And I was like, well, actually, my mom does. He's like, your mom wants to get high? Badass. I was like, yeah, well. That began our secret relationship, me and my mom. My sister never had this relationship with her. And my dad, he never knew. For years, I saw her stop wanting to use so much prescription medication because she could get high off of weed. She was a child of the 70s, a flower child. And she told me that one way to help her with prescription drug abuse was that if she could just get high off of weed. And I was like, that's a good trade. I'll take that. I will take stoned on weed mom much over stoned on pills mom any day. So we developed a little friendship, me and my mom. She'd give me money. I'd go buy her weed. And throughout the weeks, we would smoke weed together. My friends knew her as the awesomest mom of all time. And she would let us smoke weed. She would purposely let us. She would be like, can I match you guys? My mom was fucking awesome. She'd come downstairs and be like, hey, you guys doing a bowl? All right, I'll bring down my my vaporizer and we can match. My mom was cool. And my friends liked her more than me, believe it or not. So we moved to Texas, and that weed thing didn't stop. She goes, as soon as you find a dealer in Texas, tell me, and I'll give you the money to go buy some more weed. So she would be outside by the pool smoking weed every day, chilling. I don't know how it happened. Her getting back on pills. I don't know how it happened. One day, I come home, and she's high. But it's not on weed. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, God. No. Fuck. She had managed a way to get pills again. And that part of my life started up again. Her using pills. She would go on to become addicted to something else. And my dad said, we are not repeating St. Louis. We're not going to do this again. I'm going to get you into a rehab. But it will be outpatient with a doctor that I choose that will be good. He will get you off of this stuff forever. And by the grace of God, my mom agreed. So he found a doctor in Texas who I'm not going to name, but just know they are a very, very, very connected doctor outside of San Antonio. and they're a celebrity care doctor. That's what they're called. They're a celebrity care doctor. And what I mean by that is they help actors and actresses wane off of drugs. So they deal with people who have a lot of money, have a lot of free time, and are very hard to get off drugs. My mom would go there twice a week. She would go there and talk to this doctor. And he would subsequently get her on something called Suboxone. For those of you who know about Suboxone or heroin, Suboxone is a type of drug that mimics the same release that heroin gives you, or OxyContin or Oxy, whatever the actual thing. I think it's, I'm trying to think about what it was, but it basically mimics prescription medication. Suboxone does. You get her on Suboxone for a while. And I hated Suboxone. I hated Suboxone. Because it removes all the fun of drugs while keeping very similar effects. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. For those of you who don't know what a withdrawal symptom is, when you get off something like heroin, she wasn't on heroin, by the way, but prescription medication is heroin.
Fuck.
My brother died a few months ago from addiction. It's devastating. I love you, Jade.
Thank you for saying that, Gay Kittens. Thank you for the 5. I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry that your brother died. It is devastating. I love you too. If you need somebody to talk to you, just DM me. People who get off of heroin quickly, they have something called withdrawal symptoms. And withdrawal symptoms keep you from ever getting off of a drug. That's how drugs get you. It's not the high that always fucks up your life with chaos and car wrecks and all that stuff. It's not that. What really fucks up your life with drugs is the hook. A little hook in your system that tells you you cannot stop this. If you do, you know what's gonna happen, right? You know what will happen if you stop me. I'm gonna make your life hell. I'm gonna make you crave me. You'll go crazy wanting me. So Suboxone is like a little plug that removes all the high, but it still gives you that feeling of being on the drug. So it's not a good thing. I hate Suboxone. You still look like you're on drugs. Slightly less. For many years, to avoid withdrawal, my mom did that. I want to say like a year. She was on Suboxone or something like that to wane her off. I don't know how it happened. August the 10th, 2016. I don't know why he gave her what he gave her. The week of August the 5th, August the 3rd, August the 4th, 3rd. The week preceding August the 10th, 2016. Or the week of, I forgot what it was. The week of. For about 5 days, my mom got really bad. And she was like very combative, very up and down. It wasn't normal Suboxone. This is the part of the stream where I want you guys to realize if it's gonna affect you to listen to this, just turn the stream off. Because I'm gonna go deep. That week was really weird. She was like fine one moment and then super fucked up the next moment. I never really figured out why. That week I didn't. My mom's doctor was out of town on a conference. He went to a convention, actually. A convention to talk about the dangers of overprescription. Ironic. And specifically the interaction of a drug to wean people off of medication. And the drug in question that he gave her this week, he prescribed to her while he was away. A drug that is only prescribed to people in a controlled setting with supervision. A drug called Librium. He prescribed it to her. He gave her a bottle and said, "This is going to be the final thing I give you. It will take this, and it will. If you do it right, it'll be great. Get off the pills." He gave her Librium, and he goes out of town. My mom, being who she was, started to abuse Librium and overtake it. Because if you take enough Librium, you do get high. But you also get something else with it. One of the big side effects of Librium is suicidal ideation. That week was weird. The day before she killed herself, I walk in the living room, and I see her there. And she falls against the TV, and I catch her. And she goes, "Oh, Jade, thank God you were there." And I wasn't expecting that response because my mom was very angry with my dad and I. I was angry at her, guys. I was at my last inch of care for her. I hated what she was doing to herself. I hated what the drugs were doing to herself. I had said some very unforgivable stuff to her that week. At one point, guys, I had said something that I'll never ever be able to forgive myself for. I screamed at her DNR one day. I screamed at her DNR because I was so mad at her. I screamed at her. DNR. 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 Do not resuscitate. I caught her. I caught her in my arms. Thank God you were there, Jade. I would have hit my head against the TV. And I set her down on the couch. I looked at her. She was like better for a second. She was like lucid. I looked in her eyes. And I could see my mom again for like the first time in a whole week. She was like, baby, I need to talk to you about something. I said, what's up? Baby, I'm having these really weird thoughts. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? I'm having these thoughts. They're telling me to hurt myself. And they're saying horrible things. And they're just mean stuff. What? Yeah. But I never hurt myself. I want you to know that. I'd never leave you in Eden. I know. Okay. I love you. I love you too. And then an hour later, they were back at anger and craziness. August the 10th, 2016. I was awoken by yelling, by screaming. It was my dad and my mom, and they were fighting. And I was in my bed. It was at 7 a.m. And I don't usually hear fighting at 7 a.m. So I got up and I go in the living room and I kind of just peek behind the corner and I listen. My dad has to go to work. He has a big meeting with the Chinese. There was a big merger in his company, and he had to make a big meeting, talk about doing this merger with the Chinese company. It was a huge deal. He had to be there. And my mom was really, really bad this morning. She had taken a lot of Librium. And he was very frustrated. And he was telling her that, because the night previous, guys, she had gotten, on August the 9th, 2016, she had gotten really, 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 really bad. And he told her that the next day, at August the 10th, at 7 a.m., he's going to drive her to the rehab, inpatient, where she could safely take Librium and she could safely get off of drugs on August the 10th. So she said yes. On August the 9th, she said, yes, I will. I'll get up and go. The way rehab clinics work is you cannot be admitted against your will unless you're violent towards yourself or others. In the morning, when she woke up, she had forgotten that she had agreed to go and was telling him, I'm not going to go to rehab. I don't want to go. That you're not going to make me. And he said, honey, dear God, You said last night you were going to do this, and why aren't you going now? You're not going to make me go to that rehab. I'm not going to do it anymore. An hour of fighting goes by. And finally, he realizes how close it is to the meeting. He's got to make it to Kerrville, an hour away. And he goes to my mom. You win. And he storms out of the house. My mom was really high that day. And in the past, when she was going to drive her car while she was high, what I would do to prevent that was I would go take her phone or her keys and I would hide them in the house to keep her from going, because she would spend the whole day looking for them. That's how you deal with heroin addicts, is you take their phone or their keys and you hide them and you make them sober up to the point where they can find it. I took her phone and I hid it behind the toaster, a place that she... Is that my door? Give me a second. It's Amazon package. Amazon. I got some food saver containers from Amazon. I took her phone. And I hid it behind the toaster. And it worked. She couldn't go anywhere. She was looking for her phone. She was walking the house looking for her phone. A couple hours go by. Maybe less. Maybe like 45 minutes go by. The time is really fuzzy for me this morning. And I help her find her phone. I place it under my sister's bed. And I go, Mom, look. Is that your phone? She's like, oh my God. Thank you, sweet baby. I just wanted her to find it and stop looking, I guess. She got it. And she was like, thank you. Thank you for helping me find this. And she put her arms around me and hugged me. And I didn't hug her back. I was grossed out by her. I was pissed off and grossed out by her. I let her hug me with my arms to my side. I let her just hug me. I stared at her. Kind of walked off. Disgusted. Go to my room. I'm in my room. And I like half asleep. I had masturbated that morning. And I heard a noise. I was lying there in my bed. I heard a noise. And it was my mom. And she was calling my name. And it wasn't like a very loud noise. It's a pretty quiet noise. She was saying my dead name. Just uttering it. Uttering my dead name. Jade. Jade. I was like, great. She's probably like fucked up or something and like being all weird and fucked up and high. I keep hearing my name called for like a couple minutes. Jade. I ignore it. Don't want to deal with that. She's high. I don't want to deal with her. She's high. She's high right now. Jade. I get up out of my bed. And I hide in my closet. Because I don't want her to find me. I don't want to deal with her right now. I hide in my closet for a little bit. Something I'd never done before. I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to look at her. Jade. Eventually I stopped hearing it. Oh, she's probably asleep. So I open my door, crack my door open. There's this really nice sunlight peeking in through my parents' bedroom. It's like beautiful sun shaft. Dusty. A little bit dusty in the house. My bedroom faces this hallway that looks down the hallway, and there's a bathroom at the end of the hallway. The bathtub. I look down the hallway and I see my mom. She's on the floor. And again, based on all the things I've told you today, that wasn't unnormal when she was high. She slept on the floor all the time, doing crazy shit. I wasn't wearing my glasses and I was in my underwear. And I said, Mom? No answer. I started walking towards her. And there was something in the bathroom. Like I could see the bathroom was covered in something. Like vomit or some discoloration or something. So I got closer to the bathroom. I stepped over her. Didn't even look at her. Stepped over her. I go in the bathroom. And there's a knife in the sink. And it's a one of those like steak knives. It's like a serrated blade bread knife with a little nice curved. It's a Cutco serrated knife. It's face down in the sink. And there are 3 big lines of blood in the sink. I look down on the floor, and there's blood everywhere. I look at the toilet seat, and there's a handprint. Wall has blood on it. Floor has blood on it. Then I look at the bathtub. And the bathtub is filled with blood. And there's a shampoo bottle floating in it. I go outside the bathroom immediately. I look at her and I start screaming. I run to my phone. I called my dad first. I said, she's trying to kill herself. He said, what? Trying to kill herself. I hung up the phone. I called 911. They won't answer. So I go outside. I'm screaming on the top of my lungs, please answer, please answer, please answer. My neighborhood has an ambulance at the front of the neighborhood, less than 10 seconds away. It takes them 3 minutes to get to my house. Those 3 minutes were the longest 3 minutes of my life. I go back inside, and I curl up next to my mom. And her wrist has been cut, her left wrist. And it's not bleeding. I'm on the phone with the dispatcher, and they're saying, put pressure on the wound. So I do. I held it as tightly as I could. It's not bleeding anymore. They said, we'll be there in a second. I dropped the phone. And there's this silence in the house. There's this absolute silence in the house. I look at her. I look into her face. She's just staring up at the ceiling. It's not moving. And I look at her. And I said, almost like a question. I said, I love you. Like, why are you leaving right now? I just said I love you. Please come. They wheel her away. I'm covered in blood. I have blood on my hand and my leg where I've been sitting next to her. They take pictures of me. They take pictures of the bathroom. They ask for my statement. I tell them what happened, what I saw. "30 minutes later, my dad gets home. Where is she? He yells. I said, she's already been carted off. She's at the hospital right now. Did you see her? Was she okay? And I shook my head because I knew she was not okay. We have to go to like an airport first to get something. I forgot what it was. I think it was a car. We had to get like a car, so we had to go to this nearby airport really fast. We drove very fast to get there, not the speed limit. We go to the hospital, and I'm driving the car. I'm smoking cigarettes left and right while driving. On the way to the hospital, my dad gets a phone call, and he like perks up and does like the businessman sales thing and starts like, takes the phone call. Billy, how's it going? How are you? Ha ha ha. Doing great, just having a good day, just doing that. Lies through his teeth about what's going on. Puts on the phone. When you saw her last, how was she? And I said, Dad, I know she's dead. We don't know that yet. I said, I do. They get to the hospital, and they lead us into this waiting room kind of place. And the doctors come in. And my dad is like, why are you here? Why is the doctor here? Shouldn't you be with my wife? Sir, at 12:43 p.m., August the 10th, 2016, your wife was pronounced dead. We gave her 2 blood transfusions, tried to revive her. When he said that, guys, I stepped through. I stepped through to the next part of my life. There was my childhood. And I walked through it, and I entered my adulthood. Just like that. I could physically touch the time that my mom was still alive that day. And we freaked out. My dad punched the wall and stuff and started bawling, and I was bawling, and we go into the room, and she's got a tube in her mouth, stone cold. We say our goodbyes. And that was it. That was it. There's no period for grieving. There was no period for letting her go. There was no period for that. It was just like one day she was there and the next she was gone. I looked into the face of hell that day. That was that bathroom. I got to see what hell looks like. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That night, on the drive back to the house, My dad said we got to clean it up. And I laughed at him. He said, "What?" And I said, "Are you out of your mind? Like, are you okay? I know your wife just killed herself, but are you okay? Because I know you're not. You're not about to go do that." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Dad, we're not about to go clean that mess up. That's a professional job." And he goes, "Does that even exist?" And I said, "It has to." And I got on the internet and I looked up a biohazard like murder scene cleanup place. It's actually what it's called. It's like literally like a murder, like fucking actual cleanup, like biohazard viscera cleanup detail in real life. And a bunch of people showed up. Hazmat team showed up. My dad goes in the house first and comes out as if he had just seen Hell 2. He said, I want you to get in your car and I want you to go somewhere else because until this is cleaned up, I don't want you here. This is something I don't want you to see again." And so I saw this bathroom. It was just covered in stuff that morning. I go to my friend Megan's house in the time being, let him clean it up. Talk to Megan about stuff, cried in her arms. And then I come back home. And when I come home, I go to the bathroom. I go to look at the bathroom to see what they did. And I opened the door. And the door kind of swung open and echoed because there was no more bath curtain or any carpet in there. It echoed. It like hit the wall and echoed. I turned the light on and the bathroom was pristine. Like nothing had ever happened. It made me mad that it was so clean. It was cleaner than it had ever been. Every surface of that bathroom had been bleached and sanitized, and there was no trace of blood on any surface. The memory gone. A year prior to this incident, my mom had bought a dog randomly. 1 year earlier, she had brought a dog home, and it was a little teacup puppy. It was a designer dog. It was $800. She bought a dog that was bred specifically for her. Brand new puppy. It was a golden doodle. A very, very jet black golden doodle. She brought it home, and the dog's name was Pearl. Pearl was her baby. Pearl became the last child of my mom. And I got to be with Pearl for a little bit. I be with Pearl for about 6 years, 5 or 6 years. I had to put her up for adoption whenever I moved out because I couldn't couldn't live in the house that I had previously lived in because I had some dogs and just didn't get along. But for 5 years, I took care of Pearl after she died, and it was essentially my mom put into an animal. Pearl was wonderful. Pearl is wonderful. She's not dead. Pearl was a water dog because my mom took her out by the pool every day and let her swim. Just a little baby puppy. So I got a little piece of my mom in Pearl for those years. Her soul carried on in that dog. I could feel her in Pearl. We cremated my mom. Put her in a fucking jar. Because we wanted to spread her ashes in the ocean. That's what her wish was when she was talking about death. I want to be put in the ocean. So the next year we go to Santa Barbara, me and my dad and my sister. And there's a beach in Santa Barbara called Butterfly Beach. It's off of it's like the Four Seasons Hotel is on Butterfly Beach. And one morning in November at sunrise, when no one else was around, me and my sister and my dad took those ashes, and we handful by handful took them out, and we let the ocean take them away out of our hand. Just a handful. Take them out. Just let the ocean carry her away. That beach has become kind of like a very resonant area in my life. California has. Pacific Ocean has. Where I will retire is on the Pacific Coast. Where I want to live the most is on the Pacific Coast. I want to make that happen. That's where I'm called to be. It's my home now. Closest to her. What's really cool is that my mom always wanted to be an actress. She always told me this. She wanted to be an actress really badly. And I did too. I wanted to be an actor growing up. I dreamed of being in the public eye, capable of acting or doing stuff like that, funny stuff or whatever. What's really cool about this anniversary is that I get to do just that. I get to be a fraction of what she wanted to do. She would have loved this. She would have fucking loved this. All of this. She would have thought my life was the coolest ever if she was still alive. So thank you. Thank you for the past 16 months of my life being the best 16 months of my life. I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I deserve this. But thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys. I love you more than I think I'll ever love anything. What I get to do right now is a dream. And I'm really, really sorry that I have been absent a lot recently. I know that a lot of you want me to just do well. I want to do well. And I'm really sorry. I've been thinking about this day for a while, this stream for a while, what I would say and what I would do, and if I would plan anything for it. And I didn't do anything. I just said, I'm going to put myself on stream today, and I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk about it. I know it's really intense. I know that Twitch probably doesn't want me talking about stuff like this, but who cares, man? I needed to. It helps me a lot. Talk about it. Getting it out helps. It's a very isolated type of grief that I have. Not many people deal with suicide, and if you have, I empathize with you immensely on a level that I don't think you can realize.
I fucking lost.
Ragdoll. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs, Ragdoll. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What I try to be for you guys.
I fucking lost.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's a lot. Oh, that's a lot. Thank you.
I fucking lost.
3.
Thank you, Almighty Film. Thank you for the 60.
I fucking lost. I fucking lost. I fucking lost.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Deeply, 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 deeply. Thank you.
I fucking lost.
Oh my god. Oh, Ragdoll, the Almighty fell. Jaden, in control of you. Mythic. Carcasis.
I fucking lost.
Dom. Wicked proxy, guys.
I fucking lost.
It's not needed, but thank you guys. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I fucking lost.
I don't come around as often, but I'm glad I didn't miss this stream. Thank you, Jadez 3.
I fucking lost.
Oh. Guys, don't feel obligated, please. I just wanted to tell you what's going on. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you. Don't feel obligated. I just wanted to talk to you guys today. Thank you. Serious. Oh my god, my head.
I fucking lost.
What? Guys. What happened allows me to be who I am. And because I have seen how bad it can get, and because I have like lived through something like that, it makes me strive for happiness, and not just in my life. I want other people to be happy that know me. I want my vibe, my aura to be good, to be fucking good, to be really good. And I hope that in any way, ever, throughout the last year, I have been that for you. Because I want to be happy. I want to be able to live a life that I know my mom wanted me to live.
that she'd be proud of. Because she didn't want to go. I wanted to go.
I fucking lost.
Long time no see, it's been a full year. Jade's love.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Goomer. Thank you, Kyrie. Thank you, Strange. Thank you, Scurvy. Thank you, Sarmian. Thank you, Video Gamer.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, Lexi. Guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you. I love you. I know it's really weird for an internet personality to say that. But I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it.
I fucking lost.
Jadez rules.
Thank you. Void bound.
I fucking lost.
Thank you.
You've got the gift of speech, Jadez. Looking forward to another year 3.
Thank you, guys. Give me a sec. I have a really crazy headache right now. Oh, I've been crying. My head hurts. Give me a second. Thank you guys so much for the subs. Thank you. I just want you to be as proud of me as I am of you. What I have been given last year.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, callers. Oh, thank you, callers. Thank you, callers. Thank you. What I have been given in the last year is quite simply the best community on Twitch. I know that sounds biased, and I know what you guys are thinking, but I know what I'm talking about. I've been in my Discord. I've seen my chat. I've seen how people in my chat support me and support other people that I know. Y'all really are the best. And that is my favorite thing about this, is you. Is being able to spend my time with y'all. I don't do it enough. I have friends who devote a lot more time.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, Livy. I think now, after spending today with you, y'all have kind of seen me at my most raw, at like the realest point I can get to.
I fucking lost.
Guys, thank you for the subs. Thank you for all the subs today. Thank you. Thank you. A lot. I often find it really, I don't know, I just find it weird to thank people. It's like, my thanks needs to be a lot longer and a lot more intense, but I just want you guys to know thank you. Thank you so much. And not just for subs and stuff, but for just being you. I don't have to tell you guys anything. You just are great. And that makes me really, really proud and prideful. I feel so prideful when I think about who knows me and who watches my stream and whatever. I'm just so thankful. that I have you guys. I'm very thankful. And I know my mom would be too if she was here too. She'd be thankful. This gets easier. I know it seems like it might not, but every year it has gotten about 1% easier. It's still sickening to me. I can still smell that day. But it becomes a little bit easier to handle every year. And we're at year 5. And I look forward to next year, not because of this day, because this day goes on just like the rest of the days of the year for everyone else. August the 10th might as well be January 11th, December 9th, May 12th. Like there's nothing happening on those days, but for me, obviously a lot happened. And I look forward to seeing where I am in a year. I do. I want to be bigger, faster, stronger, better to next year. I do. And I know it'll be easier with you. I know that.
I fucking lost.
I know it'll be easier with you. Thank you, Anonymous. Whoever you are, thank you for the tier 1 sub. This really is a pretty world, you know? I like this place a lot. This is where I would love to just...
I fucking lost.
I love to just chill out here. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you. This is my favorite thing to look at. The ocean. I don't know about you guys, but there's this like infinite feeling of seeing that horizon. Massive, massive, massive horizon like this. As far as the eye can see. There's nothing like staring at the ocean.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, Kit Kat Kate.
I fucking lost.
Thank you, Proximity. Thank you, guys. Thanks. Thank you. A lot. Thank you. Thank you. I want to put some music on or something. Kind of in the mood for music. It's kind of time for that, you know? I want to hear some music. Where's my music? Oh, it's like a massage center or something. I was gonna play this during my chat, but I kind of didn't want to. It kind of seemed a little bit on the nose. And now it just feels like I'm getting a massage. That's what it feels like. It's been a while since I've had a massage. I can go for one right about now.
I fucking lost.
3,
How do you guys deal with headaches? I usually just go to bed, right? It's like put a blindfold on and go to bed. Thank you a lot. You some, thank you. Just go to bed, drink water, take a nap. Huh. Okay. I want to tell you guys this. Whatever shit you've got going on, no matter what it is, literally, no matter what it is, just know that it can get better, and it will.
Oh my god! Is it 1,000 bits? Oh my god!
That was a little bit.
I've been lurking. You thanking us goes the same way. How we feel about you, Pog. You until next time, stay awesome.
I need to change that alert. Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. I gotta change that alert. Kind of cut through my dramatic period there. Oh my god! Thank you so much, Doom, for everything. Doom made my map, guys. I love Doom. What I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself was that it does get better. I had a gun in my head 2 years ago. About 3 months before I started streaming, I had a gun in my head. And I was gonna kill myself. And here we are. Use me as an example. Okay? I might not be the world's most successful human being alive, but I will honestly say that I would have given up so much had I lost myself that day. Please keep going and know that literally I will be here for you, okay? Literally. I'll be here. And I love you. And I'm glad I get to know you. Thank you. Thank you for spending today with me. I really do appreciate it. More than you know. Eternally, I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys soon. Okay? Babes? Take care of yourself.